You won't believe it, but here we are in our new acquisition. It's something different than a car. Well, it looks like a car, but it's a microcar. The Citroën AMI and Opel Rocks microcars have been released under two brands, with Citroën likely being the first. And then Opel basically took it over. At least they became a supplier in the Netherlands, and the only thing they changed is the logo on the steering wheel. Logo on the front, logo on the back. Yeah, and in terms of the exterior, maybe a slightly different color, I think. We are super excited about the Citroën AMI. As you know, we worked with another brand for years, which also builds electric microcars. We don't do that anymore, but since we've never had a Citroën like this, we thought it would be fun to pick up this thing and customize it. It's actually pretty damaged. We'll show you more about that in a bit. But let's show a point of view of what it looks like from the cockpit view, because it's really a weird thing. You're actually sitting all the way in the back of the car. That's why it really feels like the front is very far away, and it actually is, because look at this. It's extremely far away. I wish I could show you, but I can't. This is the front window. The weird thing about it is that it also has a panoramic roof. That looks cool, right? This is a unique and popular trend that's become a big hype in Amsterdam once again. Everyone uses these things too, since parking is so difficult in Amsterdam. And for these vehicles, you get a citywide parking permit, which means you only pay about 450 euros a year. And after that, you can park anywhere in the city of Amsterdam for free. And that's, of course, a tiny amount, because in some places you pay, what is it, 7 euros 50? You pay 6 or 7 euros hourly. Per hour, yeah, so if you can pay 450 euros per year, guys, that's a great deal. Yeah, so it's mainly companies like real estate agencies or guys who are constantly in the city. They buy a microcar like this because you can park it anywhere. But I think this is such a cool little thing. Of course, we wouldn't have bought it if it hadn't been damaged, so let's go over it. What kind of damage it has and what kind of potential, actually. Because if we hadn't seen any potential in a car like this, of course we would never have bought it. And we also know that there are a lot of young viewers who watch our channel, and that's also why we bought this thing, to do some crazy stuff with it again. And maybe even really customize it, because these little cars actually make more money. When they're customized, what are we really good at? Customizing things. So yeah, those are great things to do. What's really funny is you don't really have a gear stick, you have a shift panel. Yeah, here you have drive, neutral, or reverse. And what's also really nice is why these production vehicles are so cheap. I can explain that to you in a moment, because they've actually used a lot of the same parts around this vehicle. And that's what we're going to go through with you now. The way you get out isn't by pulling this handle, but here at the front by the dashboard. If you pull this, your door opens. It does tell you to put it in the window once. It's new for me too. And for me, because everything is the same, it opens here for me. And what I actually wanted to say about why these things are so cheap compared to other electric microcars is that they've tried to keep their production costs as low as possible. For example, by making the front bumper exactly the same as the rear bumper, and making the right side panel exactly the same as the left side panel, and there's only one way to do that. Come on, I'll show you now. By making suicide doors on this side and putting a normal door on the other side. So here you get in like this, and on the other side from the front. And that's only possible if you use just one of the same door. So the right door fits both on the left and on the right, and the side panels. Exactly, so with that they've already managed to save a lot of costs by actually just using a few parts that can be used all over the car. What's also really fun to mention is that this car actually has quite a lot of options. For example, it has a spoiler. Yes, it really does have a spoiler. So you know this is the back, right? Otherwise you wouldn't know. And if I'm correct, we've been told that all those orange things are all options. Pickup trays, and as a pendant, those are all options. Also this, for example, that this is black, so that's also an option. Oh yes, and that's also on the front, because this is also an option. It's a Belgian vehicle. We still have to import it to the Netherlands, but that's just like a moped scale, because it will get a license plate. For the scooter, that's not such a complicated process. I think you just have to submit it, they check the chassis number, and then you can move forward again. And what's really awesome is that it has some damage, which of course we like. And that makes it potentially great for customizing, which we really enjoy. So we're thinking maybe we'll restore this thing to its full glory first, and then apply a custom color to it. What actually disappointed us is something we hadn't noticed before. When looking at this vehicle, it turned out to have more damage than we expected. They actually put duct tape over the damage, and I don't think it's necessarily to hide it, but more to keep those plastic windows in place.
Because they've taped all those windows so that no moisture gets inside, which is really nice. It's an electric vehicle.
And you actually want as little moisture as possible. In a car like this, I think it's probably waterproof, but still everything will have to be restored. Because, yeah, if you don't restore this, then of course you won't have a nice product. The problem is also that this is pigment or something. What do you call it? It has a texture. Yeah, so it has a texture. And that makes it almost impossible to sand and restore this. On the other hand, I have been in contact with several spray shops to see what we can best do about the repair. We haven't decided on that yet, we'll see soon enough. But I do know one thing for sure. We can't sand and spray it because you'll end up with smooth surfaces that actually reflect off the texture. And that won't look good. Whether you spray it or not, it just won't give a nice end result. He really went hard on his side. Look, he even made a hole in the door. The mirror is damaged. All the windows on the right side are gone. And the lock mechanism is so badly damaged that it just doesn't work anymore, even if you try to turn it. So it only opens from the inside and out. I think it's still standing straight on its wheels if you look at it like that. Yeah, the steering wheel is still straight too. The steering wheel is straight. So basically, as far as the chassis goes, it hasn't taken any damage. I think he took the corner so hard, and we can also see from the Monaco video that they just tip over onto their side pretty easily. What I think is fun to mention is that this is one of the few microcars that you can tune. So they have a standard top speed of 48 kilometers per hour, and we also have a company that we basically always work with. And they also told us if you buy one of those, we can do something with it. So maybe it's something fun for the future. To give this thing a little bit of speed, I don't know if it's a smart idea. Then we'll go on the side at 48 km/h. If you tune it up to 60 or 62 kilometers per hour, it will go even faster. So in a way, I do think it's safer because you can keep up with traffic much more easily. It's also easier for the engine. You don't need to ride at full throttle constantly. We've spoken to many who own one of those. Reportedly, significant resistance is felt at top speed. Tuning the car feels unnatural, which could make it easier to do. However, I immediately think about the impact on the battery pack. It's fully lithium, and of course that takes a beating too, right? If you tune something like that, it has to deliver more voltage and things like that. So your range, whatever it is, like 90 kilometers or so. Yeah, it says 75 on a full charge, 75 on a full charge. So that'll be a lot less right away too. But it really is a unique thing. I mean, it's such a small car. But it's so spacious inside. The driver's seat can be adjusted forward and backward. And the passenger seat, on the other hand, is fixed. And what's funny is that they've thought about it so much that you can even place a carry-on suitcase here, for example. There's even literally a logo for a suitcase. You can put it down there and you'll still have plenty of space. While with other brands of microcars, you actually don't have any space at all. You even have space behind the seat here, guys. Really, look. You can still fit a shopping bag there. I also see potential for different colored seat belts, indeed. I see potential for a window tint. I see potential for a cool custom color. I see potential for everything, really. Because this thing is so cool. And when we were 16, we really would have loved to have something like this. Yeah, that was precisely 16 years ago. Financially, we weren't well off back then either. But this is really the kind of car you just want to have in Amsterdam, just to cruise around in when you're 16, guys, really. And that's why we also see potential in fixing this thing up. Of course, we also bought this from a business perspective, so we can make a bit of profit on it once it's customized. Of course, that's what we're hoping for, yeah. All the hours you put into this, of course you want to get paid for as well. Having said all that, we are incredibly enthusiastic about this product and about electric microcars in general, and especially the Citroën Ami, of course. This thing has so many cool features, so yeah, we're really looking forward to it. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and it just has a normal ignition, right? The funny thing is, you just turn the key like a regular car. Then it still doesn't start, but you really have to turn the key all the way, just like you would with a regular car. Surprisingly, the starter motor is silent when it engages. It's an odd quirk. Another noteworthy aspect is... Check out the welding on this thing. It's like a shoddy Chinese weld or something we did ourselves. See how they ground this part smooth right here?
Here's a chassis number as well. Do you see that?
Yes. Okay, well, my first meters are about to happen now. Put it in D.
Then, if all goes well, your display should also show D. Release the manual trim. Of course, you also need to fasten your seatbelt. Well, we're on private property here. The steering is light. Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? And it's actually pretty fast.
It says 73 kilometers and then you need to refuel. Can you see it? 73 kilometers and then you need to refuel.
This thing has only driven 5,000 kilometers, so it's literally as good as new.
Well, it's a real shame. You really hear that electric sound? It's funny. What's also nice to mention is that the charging cable in this type of vehicle is built into the car. The door opens too forcefully, and there's a visible gap from the inside to the outside, which is unintended. This one doesn't work, but the charging cable is present. What's really funny is that it's not a normal cable either, because you need an adapter again. But this one doesn't fit into your regular socket. It looks like it does, but you really need that thing. Do you see that? It might be a Belgian plug, not sure. You need that thing, see that?
Yeah, that little thing goes in there.
And then you put it in your fridge. So there's a whole community around the Citroën AMU and the Opel ROX, and they all post different things about how they've customized them. One person turned it into a buggy, another lowered it with air suspension, put huge wheels on it. However, I wanted to ask you guys something if you know. I'm curious if you know what goes here. I feel like I'm missing something here. It looks like you can click something in here, maybe a speaker or something. I have no idea. Are we missing something there or not?
A USB.
So, a charging point, so maybe your phone goes there. No idea, but anyway, this was a little insight into our new project.
The AMI will exclusively be on our vlog channel, which we plan to restore. We also have a new damage project on our main channel that you're already aware of.
That's the Honda Civic Type R. If you don't know it yet, we repair it on our main channel. We handle extreme vehicle damage and guide you through the restoration process. Our goal is to inspire and empower you to enjoy working on your own car.
Just have fun with it and do these kinds of things.
To get started with it, and we get a lot of DMs on Instagram from people who started doing this because of us. So thank you for that. If you don't follow us on Instagram, twins, television vlogs, there's content there that doesn't actually end up on YouTube. And of course, our daily experiences are also on our Instagram, so go subscribe, give us a thumbs up. We'll see each other in a new vlog, maybe about this thing, a Type R or some craziness. Until then, ciao.